Hi everyone, how are you? Wow, this has been a long time coming. A long time coming. It has been quite some time since I've seen you all, since you all have seen me. There has been a lot that has transpired in my life since the last video. I have debated about this, gone back and forth again about debating or not if I should cover this topic. But in the long run, this actually may help someone else. So in the long run, that's why I'm here today with this topic. So there's really no easy way to break it down or to say anything, but my marriage is going through a separation, leading to permanent such separation. It's just, on one hand, you say, well, it's not anyone else's business what's going on, and the details will always remain with me. But on one hand you have, well, it's no one else's business, no one should know about this. Then on the other hand you have, well, I could help someone else with this. It's also a part of a healing process for me. It's part of therapy for me to be able to talk about it. To be able to verbalize what's going on, and just things like that. First of all, I want to say to any family members that may watch it, I'm not here to bash anyone, to throw anyone under the bus. I'm not here to personally hurt anyone either. This is purely an explanation, so I won't have to keep explaining. It's becoming really hard going places, going to church, going out and seeing people that know both myself and Jason, and them asking me, hey, where's Jason? Hey, I haven't seen Jason in a while. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's this? And me having to smile about it and say, oh, he's in Atlanta. Oh, he's got a job here. That's really hard. And I've come to the point where I can talk about it, and I've come to the point where I'm like, you know what? Here's the deal. So the deal is that we are separated. We are going through separation. You know what? We use the word judging a lot. What's the difference between judging and holding someone to a standard? Not saying that a person can't fall or make mistakes, because we all do that. We do. But what if you want to hold that person accountable, and they've said that they want you to hold them accountable, and you try to remedy situations or fix wrongs, and either the other person doesn't want to and doesn't want to maintain things that they used to, or if they don't want to have a family anymore or have a marriage anymore, you can't fight alone. You can't hold a person accountable by yourself. You can't do all these things if the other person doesn't want to do it, and that's the point that I'm at. So, well, that's the point that I'm past, but that's the point where we were before separation. When we're dating someone, we have a list of things that we want. I want them to have a job. I want them to provide. I want them to, things necessary for living, and when a person doesn't meet those standards, usually you don't even go along with the relationship. Usually you're like, next, Why is it that once we get married to a person or something like that, we lower those standards? We shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to do that. And I shouldn't have to do it, and the next person shouldn't have to do it as well. So that's where I am on that. Sorry, I'm looking at a list of things on my phone that I want to cover. You know, I'm not saying that you have to leave or separate from a person if they don't meet standards, because we all have improvements to make for the rest of our lives. I'm saying, like I said, you can't improve or make these adjustments or continue to grow in life if the other person isn't willing to do that with you. Basically, you know, if there's no trust, if there's no honesty, if there's no transparency, then what do you have? You know, what do you have? Especially if honesty, if there's no honesty, if there's infidelities involved, if there are adulteries involved, these are things that I'm saying that a separation is more than welcomed. A separation is more than welcome. Constant communication and honesty and openness and transparency are something that's always needed for the rest of your life with your spouse. And if you can't have that, like I said before, what do you have? What do you have? You know? Without any of that, there will be a crack in your foundation of trust. You know, influence. Be careful of influence, no matter from whomever, be it great or small. Be careful with influence. You know, sometimes our family members can be a huge influence on our thought process or our decision making, and at the end of the day, we have to live our lives ourselves. No one else can help you live your life. You know, a lot of times people are there when in the heat of the moment, and they can tell you, you should do it this way, you should do that, you should do this. But when the dust has settled down, usually you are the only one there left to pick up the pieces. And if you are being influenced against, you know, or negatively influenced, stay away, run. You know, that played a huge part in where I am today. You know, I'm not going to call any names or point any fingers. I'm just going to say that negative influence brought us apart. Tore us apart, rather. Negative influence tore us apart. Dishonesty tore us apart. Lack of communication about plans. Lack of communication about where our lives were going tore us apart. Never assume. You know, sometimes we talk to other people who have nothing to do with what's going on, and we miss the main important person, the person right here next to you, the person that you are joined with. You know, why talk to somebody over here when you have all of this right here that's actually in your everyday, day-to-day life? You know, this is what needs to be going on. This is where the communication needs to be had, right here. You know, everyone says communication is key, communication is key. Well, types of communications are keys as well, you know. Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm transitioning from being that stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife and mother, into a single mom. You know, I'm now working. It's just the boys and me. Jason is in Atlanta. He has his own life there. That's where things are right now. And that's where they will be. Decisions have been made, choices have been made. You know, there are certain things that there's no coming back from, and that's my choice. You know, divorce is never, you know, no one ever gets married thinking that they are going to get a divorce. No one ever gets married thinking that their relationship has an end in sight, you know, or at least I didn't, you know, and that's never what I wanted, ever. I think anyone who knows me knows how much I love family, love my family. But there's a reason that God made a clause, but, you know, what God have joined together, let no man put asunder, or woman put asunder. However, he did give a clause for if things were to happen. These were our choice. He left it up to us. You can decide what you want to do. And I have decided to be apart, to be separate, to go our separate ways. So this is to my friends, to my family, to all my followers. That is my life now. I am focusing on my boys and myself and turning over a new leaf and moving on with our lives. Hope that you can stick with this. It's a tough journey. Very bitter, very bitter. But some very sweet things have come from our marriage. So I've got 2 of them walking around. Well, 1 not walking yet, but I've got 2 of them outside of my heart. They are my heart outside of my body. So, you know, God has a plan, and he will ultimately see me through. Anyway, thank you for giving me your time, and I hope you will continue to support me and the children. And we love you all, always.